I hear we're talking about, you guys are wonderful students of math, I understand, and you're looking for all the interesting things about car insurance and how it relates to math, I guess. Is that what we're here for?
That's the idea.
All right. So how many of you drive a car? Probably not many, right?
No.
How many of you ever driven in a car? Probably everybody, hopefully.
I'm getting my learner's permit.
Oh, congratulations. You must be 15 and a half or 16?
I'm 16.
Awesome. I think it takes about a year, right, before you can actually officially be out on your own and driving. So, and your parents will have to get your car insurance lined up for you. And in the car insurance industry, there's a lot of math that goes on for people that are out there. And for young drivers, what do you think? Your chances of getting in an accident, statistics, we use a lot of statistics that we do in actuarial work, but usually younger drivers, what do you think? Are they better drivers or not as good at drivers as the parents? What's your guess?
I feel like they're all scared.
I think it depends.
Yeah. So statistically, people that are just learning, that are 16 to 21, are in much more a higher level of car accidents than people who are over the age of 21. And the insurance companies strictly, they measure that. The actuaries, they hire people that are very good at math, and they collect data, and they determine, how many accidents occur by age and what kind of car you're driving, and they collect all kind of data, and they put together insurance rates based on their data. So when you're young, your car insurance is really expensive. So has your mom or dad talked to you about that yet, and the cost of insurance, and how you might be able to help pay for that possibly, or are they going to pay for you?
I don't know about that yet.
You don't know about that yet. Okay. So I'm sure you're going to find out soon enough, but anyway, but we use math every day with insurance, and we do a lot of percentage calculations. We, as insurance agents, we definitely try to manage risk, and there's a lot of statistics that go into risk, and so age is a big factor. The kind of car that you drive is a factor. Where you live is a factor. Your habits, and there's a lot of there's some real new modern ways of sort of collecting this data now, where in cars nowadays, cars have computers in them, and a lot of the insurance companies are starting to tie into the computers to collect data on you as you're driving. So if you're driving your mom's car and you're kind of going over the speed limit a little bit, or you're slamming on the brakes, there's a good chance your mom may get a little report back to her from the insurance company explaining that you may have been going a little faster than you should have been, or the braking system, you're hitting the brakes a little too hard and not waiting enough time. And then the insurance companies, what they'll do is, if you have a history of that, and you start developing habits of hard braking and speeding, your rates could increase a little bit. So your mom and dad might end up paying a little more for the insurance. So did anybody out there have an idea of what it costs to insure a car every 6 months for one car? Does anybody have a rough idea for a vehicle? Any thoughts on what it might cost?
I could guess.
Give us a guess.
500.
500 is a pretty good guess. That's a pretty good guess, and it does vary. So I would say $500 is a good guess for a middle-aged person living in the county. $500 or $600 is a pretty good guess. Now, mom and dad, $500 or $600. They go to add you on. What do you think that's going to do to the premium? It from $500 or $600, it's going to go maybe up. Using your math, let's say that it doubles. What's it going to? So it's probably going to double. So if it's $500 or $600, it's probably going to go to $1,200 with you on there. So that's a pretty substantial amount of money. So and I guess the point is, when you learn to drive, be careful, follow the rules, don't speed, don't slam on the brakes, and you'll save your parents a lot of money in the long run on insurance costs. Anyway else, so I'm trying to think of, and again, I really apologize for being late. I'd have been a little bit more organized. But the other thing that we do is, in math, we insure homes and property. Your house is insured.
Mm-hmm.
And
I knew that. I might blame.
Yeah, and we use a lot of math when we go to insure a home to develop the risk in the house. We've had to figure out the square footage of the house. We measure does anybody know how to figure out square footage of an area? Does anybody have an idea what the formula is for the square footage?
Length times length.
Length times, right. Well, length times depth, length times width. And your home, might have the base, might be the length times the width. It might be a 20 by 30, so it's 600 square feet on one floor, but your home may have 3 floors, right? You may have a level upstairs, and then you might have a basement, or you may have a 4th level. So you take that base factor, and then you multiply to come up with the total square footage. Yeah, and that's how we determine how much. Once we have the square footage developed, then we figure out what construction costs are to build that house per square foot. So if you're living in a 1,200 square foot home and it costs $100 a square foot to build a house, you can do the math. That's what you're going to want to, what we try to insure the home for, because we always want enough money to rebuild the house if something were to happen to it.
Include the basement in the square footage?
Yes. Well, the basement is a separate calculation, but yes, the living space is calculated based on square footage. The basement is a separate calculation, and if it's finished or non-finished, it's calculated in, but it's a separate algorithm or calculation for the basement versus the rest of the house. But yeah, it all goes into, if the house burns down and it has to be rebuilt, the insurance company needs to know how much that's going to cost, so they can figure out how much premium they're going to charge to cover the risk. So yeah, but basements are there. If you have a swimming pool, they will include that into the calculation. All of your contents in the house, if you take everything in your house and add it up, your furniture and your clothes and your TVs and your computers and your cell phones, and if all of that was lost in a fire or the house burns down, that all has to be calculated. So, we also have, we generally will give whatever your home dwelling is, we'll give a percentage of that in content. So we use percentages to figure out, how much coverage to give you, what the premium base is going to be. And for those of you I know, how many of you want to be an insurance agent when you grow up? But probably never thought about that, right? Probably not something that you want to do. But it's not a bad living. I know being a professional baseball player or a dancer would be more exciting, but
you got Kelsey nodding her head yes. Uh-oh.
Insurance is not a bad living, but you definitely need to know the math. You definitely have to, for those of you who, are really good in math. I don't know if Mr. Fields ever talked to you about going into the actuary field, but actuaries are just, they make very, very good money. They're really, really smart people, and worthwhile occupation. If any of you were enjoy math and really like it, look into possibly becoming an actuary. That's a great, and you get, insurance companies can hire you. All kinds of big companies hire actuaries to do their statistical analysis and determine how much we're going to charge for insurance premiums. Actuaries do all that. They look at go.
I didn't find out what an actuary was until I was a junior in college in the math program. I was like, wait, what's an actuary?
Yeah, yeah, it's very difficult, and in my opinion, being a doctor is difficult, but an actuary, they're very, very smart people, and I kind of hold them to the same level, maybe a little higher than a doctor at a lot of times. They're just very, very smart people, and it's all math driven, and they figure out all kinds of complicated things to help us, you know, figure out risk and to live better. They'll determine, they look at weather patterns. I know the weathermen look at weather patterns, but insurance companies look at weather patterns, and they develop statistics on how likely storms are that are going to happen in an area. You know, they look at car accidents based on where you live, and all that data, and then they help the companies figure out how much premium to charge so that they can make a profit as well as you know, pay claims. So it's very interesting.
Kelsey has her hand up.
Yes.
What is your like job?
I am an insurance agent, and I advise people and help people when your mom goes to when she buys a car, you have to carry car insurance. It's the law in Maryland. You've got to have car insurance. And car insurance, if you have an accident and somebody else is hurt, car insurance pays for that other person's damages. Or if you're driving your car and you wreck your car, car insurance pays to fix the vehicle. What I do is facilitate. I sell those insurance products to people who need car insurance, who need home insurance, who need life insurance, any type of insurances that we do. I sell the products and advise people and try to help them pick the best level of coverage that they need according to, you know, what their risk is. So I hope that answers your question. When you buy a car, you know, cars are really expensive, and your mom and dad may go out and buy a car and spend $30,000 on a car, and they take a loan on that money, and if they go out and have a car accident and run into something, and that car is destroyed, they still have to pay that loan, that $30,000 loan. And so the insurance company will step in and say, hey, we'll go ahead and pay that loan off for you and make you whole again so that you can start over and go get another car and not have two loans to pay off. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you a little bit?
I just want to say, so if you get in a car accident and your car is wrecked, but it's worth $18,000, then the insurance company will give you a check for $18,000.
Right.
And that way you can go get another car.
Correct. Because the banks, you still got to pay that loan off. You know, whether you have the car or not, you sign the agreement. So yeah, the insurance companies facilitate that. And the same with a house. If your parents spend a lot of money on a house, and if it burns down, your parents are still responsible for paying that mortgage, whether the house is there or not. So the insurance company will come in and rebuild your house for you, and so that and put you up in a place to live while the house is being rebuilt. It's helping people manage risk is what we sort of do. We're risk managers, and if a tornado hits the house, or you have a fire, or we've had floods ruin cars or houses, and that's what we do. We step in and pay and make people whole again. Is what we do. But it's a very rewarding career for people that it doesn't sound very glamorous, but it's a very rewarding career. We get to talk to people all day long, and we get to help them. You know, we solve problems for them that they're having, and we help them protect their biggest assets, their home and their cars. And we make sure that if something happens, they're going to be able to replace them. And that's really what it's all about. So
John, can I ask you to do some math with us?
Oh my goodness, I'll try. And guys, I was not a good mathematician in school, but I'm very good in percentages, so I can do that. Yeah, sure.
All right. So what is Can you give us an example of an insurance policy that you could sell to someone?
Yeah, sure. Like the numbers, the math, or
Yeah, like an example with numbers, like someone just bought an insurance policy from you. How
okay.
much did they pay?
Okay, so let's say, okay, mom and dad, we just did one actually yesterday, and the guy was insuring. It was a 2019 Chevy Camaro. It was a nice
Oh,
car. Yeah, and his 6-month premium on the Chevy Camaro was actually $800 per 6 months. So um, you have an option. They can pay the $800 up front, or we can break that up. Can somebody take 800 and divide it by 6 for me? And that's what they pay per month. So it's roughly what, 100 and how much is that? I don't have my calculator.
$133.33.
There you go. So that person is going to pay the insurance company the premium of $133.33 each month to protect that car. So and as long as they make that premium payment, if something happens to that car, the insurance company is gonna replace that car or repair it. If it's a partial loss, and let's just say you hit it and knock your bumper off, the insurance company will come in and repair it and put a new bumper on for you.
so,
Go ahead.
all right. So, first question, I don't
Yep.
think anyone is asking, but maybe someone else is thinking, how come for a Chevy Camaro costs, how much money is the cost of a Chevy Camaro? And, you know,
To
the
buy
total to buy
to
it.
buy a Camaro, I would think the Chevy Camaro is probably around $40,000.
So
Something like that.
why do they only have to pay $800 a month
To insure it.
and then
That's
they're
a
gonna
good
get a check
question.
for $40,000?
That's a great question. So how could the insurance company cover $40,000 worth of investment for $133 a month? Well, the insurance company is collecting premiums from not just you, from mom and dad, but from a lot of people, and it's a pool of money. So we have thousands and millions of, Allstate has millions of customers that are paying them premiums every month that they are holding on to, and hopefully not everybody is out having accidents every day and using up all the money. It again, actuaries work at how much premium they bring in versus how much they pay out can depend on how many accidents occur. But it's a pool of money, so you've got a lot of people paying into the plan, and then hopefully, if you have the one total of the car, you might have a couple of hundred people paying that premium every month that's going to pay that car off. So we're kind of sharing the risk with, we're spreading it out amongst other people. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so what I'd like to do is have one of the students see if they can say that back in their own words. So the question is that John just answered for you is, how can insurance companies charge $800 every 6 months for a $40,000 car? So I'm looking for my Algebra 1 and Geometry students, although anyone can answer.
All
Sure.
right.
Did someone just say, can I guess?
Yeah. Yes.
Go for it. You want me to ask? Want me to give you a hint? How about John Paul? Can you answer that question?
Come
Okay.
on, John Paul. You can do it. Give us your
How
best
can
guess.
car insurance? How can insurance companies charge $800 per 6 months for a $40,000 car?
Right.
How many people are paying $800 a month? What did John say?
Right.
How many people are paying $800?
We have, I'll give you a hint. It's more than 1,000. It's,
Mhm.
as a company, we may have, and I don't know the specific data, but I'm sure we probably have 1 million people at least paying premiums every month. So we might have a couple of 100,000 people in Maryland alone paying into that plan, paying $800. Or
So
maybe
what
they're paying
So we
more,
can do
maybe
like
less.
so we can do like a proportion, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. You can do like kind of
Yeah.
like a proportion. So
Well, you don't have to go that far. Just answer this question. How much money is it if 200,000 people are paying $800?
Right.
So now back to the elementary school kids. What is 200,000 times 800?
Yeah.
What's 8 times 2?
I can do that one.
Go for it. Come on, guys. I don't know who to give the Amazon gift card to if no one's going to participate.
Uh-oh.
200,000 times 800.
120 million.
16 million?
16. Yeah, how many zeros we got there? 5, 6,
Yeah.
120 million.
No.
We got 5 zeros and then 2 more, so that's 7 zeros, right? 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. What the number we came up with? How many millions?
16
Is
million.
it yes, 150 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like 160 million.
Yeah, that's as a company, sure. It's more than that. They're bringing in an enormous amount of money each month from customers all around the country that gets put into this huge pool. And then as individuals have car accidents, there's plenty of money in there to pay the claim. Because
So if there's $160 million in,
right.
now do you see that if someone needed $40,000,
Yeah.
it's a lot
You
of
could
money.
pay a lot of those
altogether.
claims. You could pay a lot of those claims. And yeah.
Now, so
It's the same. And a bigger example is in homeowners insurance, because a homeowner's, if a house burns down or it gets knocked over by a tornado, people, an average premium on a homeowner's policy is about $1,000 a year. And let's suppose the house is worth $300,000. That happens all the time throughout the country. But there's so much premium coming in from customers because they have so many clients paying them $1,000 here, $800 here every month. It's a pretty big pool of money.
now I want to ask you about that too.
Yeah.
The insurance people, when I was a kid, they tricked me because you guys call it an insurance premium. And when I think of premium, I think of the best. But now I come to find out as an adult, insurance premium, that means my monthly bill.
Yes.
That doesn't mean like
correct.
the best thing.
No. It's your premium. I guess it's really not a positive. If you put it that way, you're right. Now, if you're the insurance agent like I am, premium, it's not a dirty word for us, because when you become an insurance agent, you get paid a percentage off of a premium. And I got a math question for probably the elementary school kids, but so I'll just give you guys an example. I'll tell you how the insurance companies pay the insurance agent. So if I take that $800 premium for that car that we were talking about on that Chevy Camaro, the insurance agency generally earns 10% of that premium is their commission. Everybody know what a commission is?
Yes.
Okay, so do the math. So if I sell an $800 policy and I get 10% commission, what's my fee that the company's paying me?
80,000.
No, not 8,000. It's $800 times 10%.
Oh.
Is my commission.
80.
80, right. So every time my agency sells an $800 policy, I get to keep $80 of that $800. They give me $80. So as an insurance agent, I want to do what? I want to go out and find as many customers as I can to pay the insurance company premium, because I'm going to get 10% of that. So if I went out this week and wrote 10 customers at, let's just make it simple, $800 a piece, how much premium is that for the week?
800.
800 times 10 is 8,000, right? Is that 8,000 for the week? Because I went out and found 10 customers this week, and they all pay $800. So I collected $8,000 in premium for the insurance company. I'm going to get 10% of that. So how much did I earn of the $8,000? Anybody got a guess?
800.
Starts with an 8. $800. Correct. Right. So as an insurance agent, the more customers that you can bring into the company, the more commission that you earn based off of percentage. So the higher the premium, the better the commission is for the insurance agent. Yeah, and it's up to the actuaries to figure out how much premium to charge people to make it fair, so that they have enough money to pay the claims when they happen, as well as pay the insurance agent their commission, and then pay all the people that work for the insurance company that are in claims, that are in billing, that are in processing, that are in they have to pay all those expenses out of that $800, as well as pay the claims. And that's where the actuaries and the math comes in. And it's very statistical. It's very scientific. They keep stats on everything. I mean, it's amazing what the insurance companies know, and what they can predict. Predicting the future is a big part of insurance company jobs, and what they do. They're trying to predict what's going to happen in the future as far as weather patterns. You know, cars are going to be driving themselves soon. People, has anybody driven in a self-driving car yet? Does anybody have one?
I wish I did.
Yeah. Well, by the time you guys are my age, insurance is going to look completely different, because what do you think is going to happen when cars drive themselves? What do you think is going to happen to car accidents? Is the frequency going to go up or down?
Now.
No. It's not going to go up. It's going to go down, because frequency means there's going to be fewer accidents, right? Because machines are going to be taking over these cars, and they're going to know when to put on the brakes. They're going to know when to change lanes. These machines are going to really reduce the frequency of car accidents. So car insurance premiums in the future are going to be a lot lower than they are now. By the time you guys again are my age, heck, it's going to look a lot different. You probably be able to get in your car. You're not even going to have to drive the car. It's going to pull up. You're going to jump in it and can go, and there won't be a driver. So, and that's not that far off in the future. That's kind of already here. There's Google cars that are doing that now in certain parts of the country, that just, you know, there's going to be fleets of them. So a lot of you probably won't even need to own a car in the future, because depending on where you live, these fleets will be out there, and you'll just, you know, get on your phone and have the car pull up in front of your house within a second. You'll hop in and go. Sort of like an Uber without a driver.
My uncle has one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. It really is. But you know, but definitely I know when I was younger and in school, I never really saw a function and a purpose for math. I really didn't, and I was really short-sighted in that, because everything is based around math. Everything. And for you guys to get a head start and be doing the work that you're doing with Mr. Felix, so But anyway, any other questions or any other, like, we can do some more problems?
Yeah, what questions do you guys have? Go ahead,
Me,
Kelsey.
Yeah.
My question is, how much do you earn every month?
It depends on how much we sell. Now, what I do as an insurance, I own the insurance agency, so I can actually I can sell myself to pick up policyholders. That's the way I started out. And then I hired additional people who were starting out as agents that work for me that sell for the agency. So we have a pretty big size agency. My agency alone brings in $6.5 million a year in premium to Allstate, my agency alone. So, and I'm just one agency of thousands around the country. I think Allstate has over 25,000 agents around the country, varying in size, different sizes. But we do $6.5 million a year in premium, and I have 6 people that work for me. So the agency earns 10%. So what's 10% of 650 or 6.5 million is how much? That's how much the agency earns. Anybody want to do the math on that? 6.5 million at 10%. How much income is that?
$650,000.
$650,000. So that's the amount of money that the agency. Now, out of that doesn't all go in Mr. Koch's pocket. Unfortunately, I wish it did, because I have the business to run and I have to pay. I have 6 people on staff. I have a building that we pay for. We have other expenses, but it's a good living, and there's a lot of opportunity out there for all of you. That insurance is a great field to be in, whether it's selling home insurance, auto insurance. Life insurance is also a real, does anybody know what life insurance is? Because we also sell that too, and it's also a big important factor in people's lives. Does anybody know what it's for or what it does? Life insurance.
Like life insurance is like
Life insurance.
your assets, like after you die.
Yeah. So exactly. So if you have a family, your mom and dad have a family, and you have young children, your dad's probably out working, your mom's probably out working, and if something happened to one of those parents, the family would lose income, right? So your mom or dad's not working anymore. Something either they become sick or if they die, that family loses that income. So in insurance companies, you can buy policies that state that if something happens to mom or dad and they get sick and can't work anymore, the insurance company will pay them money each month in what's called disability. And life insurance, if something were to happen to them where they would pass, the insurance company can also give a check to the family that would replace the income that they would be losing because of not being able to work. So it's also a very valuable, a rewarding. It doesn't sound. It can be a very rewarding sale to someone, because if a tragedy happens in a family and someone passes away, life insurance can. I've delivered checks to people that are life-saving, because otherwise, you pay that member that passed away was paying the mortgage payments. They were making the car payments. They were doing all these things. If they're not there anymore, you could potentially lose those things. So the insurance policies pay for that, so that the family can stay in their house, keep their cars, keep the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. And it's a very rewarding career. It really is.
John, Ansel has a question.
Sure.
Is it a fun job?
Yes, it really is. It's a fun job. We're not out doing somersaults and jumping jacks every day, but I get to talk to people all day long who are of all walks of life. And there are so many interesting people out there that you get to meet doing this job. And I learn so many things from people. It's fun. I make a lot of friends from the job, and and it can be a very good living. You make it. I have 4 children myself, and have been very fortunate to be able to, put them through school. My last one is in college, and it's been a great career and a lot of fun, and very rewarding. If somebody has a tragedy and they have a house that burns down, and they're worried about where they're going to live and how am I going to rebuild the house, and I can show up with a check and say, here's the money to rebuild that house. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So highly encourage you to look into it. And if anybody has any, please ask me questions, or if anybody was ever interested in a career and wanted to shadow or come out and, once the coronavirus is over. But we would have kids into the office all the time looking for, hey, do I want to do this as a career? And we would bring them into the office, and they would spend a day with us, and they were fun days. So we would have a special lunch and some ice cream and things like that. But but it is a fun job. Yes, very fun.
When you first started your own agency, were you able to make a living off of just your agency right away?
It was hard when we started because we started from scratch. When you start out, I didn't have any customers. So back then, it's an investment. So you have to be ready to not make a lot of money for the first couple of years until you build it up. So yeah, the first couple of years were rough, but I didn't have children. It was just my wife and I, and my wife was also working. Both of us were working at the time, and so she was supporting me while I was getting the business started. And then after a couple of years of rolling, then I started to catch up with her, and then eventually, down the road, she was able to, when we started having children, to be able to stay home with the kids, which was we're very fortunate. I just, like I say, we were very fortunate over the years to be able to do that. But it was painful in the beginning. It's a little bit of a it's a sacrifice in the beginning, but it can be well worth it. There's a lot of money in it for people that are good at it and can do it. You can make a real nice living. So and that's for any business that you start, right? I mean, there's a little bit of a sacrifice, but very rewarding. It's nice to. It depends on your personality, but I as a kid, I was never like to be told what to do. That was just me. I like to I was a free spirit, and I would like to do things on my own, and that's kind of how this sort of started, of being self-employed. And now I have 4 children, and my oldest 3 are all self-employed people. Well, I take that back. 2 are self-employed. My son works for me in the agency, so he's part of the ownership of the agency, and I'm trying to coax my daughter into doing this too. My youngest daughter said she will never. She's in college now. Well, she just doesn't want any part of it. But she's taking data analytics in college. So down at University of Tennessee. So there you go. She's still kind of got her foot in it through data. Maybe I'll catch her that way.
Is there any of the students here that don't like to be told what to do and think they might?
Who likes to be
Kelsey,
told what to do?
Philip.
A lot of them going up. God, it's if you don't like being told what to do and you're independent, you're destined to be a self-employed. You're going to be starting and running your own business, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to have the right personality and a lot of go get them and and be ready for the ups and downs, but very rewarding and nothing like having to answer to yourself instead of somebody else. It's nice.
Any other questions? We just have a few minutes left, guys. I'll see you get your hand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a question, it's a comment. And I do like being independent, and I plan to have my own fashion designing company.
You do? Oh, that's so exciting. I'd love to hear about it. So do you are you what are you doing online? Is that how you're promoting it, or what are you doing?
I plan to do both. I plan to do online and by store. Like, for example, if anybody has been to TJ Maxx, they have their own store. I plan to do that, and I also plan to do online too.
That is absolutely tremendous. And I'd love to, if you ever need any help or assistance. My oldest daughter is a graphic designer and does websites and like what you're talking about, and helps small business owners develop websites. And my wife is self-employed. She's doing a little bit like what she's got a belt company that sells needlepoint belts all over the world. And she started a website like what you're talking about, and she sells products all over the world. Good for you. That is absolutely, that excites me when I hear that, when young people are doing that. I think, how old are you?
11.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be fantastic. You keep that up, girl. You keep that up. That's absolutely fantastic. How old's your brother?
He's 6.
6. Okay. All right.
Oh,
Very
7.
good.
I mean. Sorry, 7.
Oh, he got mad at that. You keep it up. That's absolutely fantastic.
Does anyone else want to own their
Anybody
own
else have-
business?
Yeah. Who?
Is there a specific course to study at college to be an insurance agent?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Is there a specific course to study at college to become an insurance
Yes.
agent?
Well, actually, you can. I didn't have this at the time, but you can actually major in insurance while you're in college, and you don't have to do that though. You need an insurance license to be able to sell insurance in Maryland, and that whole process takes a couple of weeks. You have to you take so many credit hours in classroom, and it can be done virtually. And once you pass the class, then you sit for a state exam. But I have people that I bring into the business all the time that do it. And it takes about 3 weeks to actually get an insurance license. But if you're going to if you're in college, you can major in it now, and you can get licensed and designations as part of your learning experience in college. I mean, you can really come out with hitting the ground running doing that. But yeah, you don't necessarily, as long as you get a degree, a college degree, in I don't want to say just about anything, but yeah, just about anything, you still could come out, and in most companies with a college degree, they'll bring you on. So that's the key. Get that college degree out of the way. And but if any of you are looking to, I've hired kids that are high school and college age. I've had work for me that have gotten licensed while they were working for us part-time, and then got out and learned the business working in an agency, and then got out and started their own thing. I've had 3 or 4 do that over the years, which is also pretty rewarding, be able to see somebody start out young and get started and then walk right into their own business. And they're doing very well. I think all the last 3 that went out are still in business and have been doing really well.
So do you feel like a teacher sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We there's something new every day. And and I learn from others. The staff teaches me things that I've forgotten or don't know. And it's becoming very, very high tech. Everything is very technical now. And I love having the younger people come in who know the computers and know how to hook up a Zoom meeting on time and how to, click all the right buttons. And so insurance is becoming very high tech from a marketing standpoint. From just everything we do, we're really a tech company. Allstate's a tech and data company is what they consider themselves. Even over an insurance company, they say we're a technological data company. They love collecting data.
Does anyone else have any other questions before we finish up? We can also spin the wheel and
Who's going to win?
Yeah.
Guys, this was really fun. I am so glad you had me. I'm so sorry I'm late. But this has really been a great time.
Absolutely. Would you come back during the school year and do it again?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Anytime. And if anybody has questions offline or has an interest in insurance or any other business, starting a business related type thing, I'm always happy to talk to somebody. So Justin, you can send them my email or contact, and I'd love to do it. So,
Absolutely.
yep.
All right, guys. Well, for now, can everyone say thank you so much, Mr. Koch?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Mr. Koch.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're
Thank you
welcome,
very
guys.
much.
It was a lot of fun. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You guys keep working hard. Learn that math.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much. And
right.
everyone have a great night.
All right, Mr. Field. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Have a good evening.